Right there, welcome back to the channel. This is 5 things that we learned last night. And I touched on this a little bit in the review that I did last night. Number 1, just first gear, no urgency, real ponderous sort of super laid back performance. It was like we were kind of sleepwalking and allowed Twente to sort of stay in the game. We started the game with like intent and purpose, and we saw that, you know, Xerxes, Ahmad, Rashford was kind of putting them under a little bit of pressure, but there was like a collective mentality from the team, like it'll all be all right on the night, when obviously it wasn't going to be all right on the night. Teams in Eredivisie are always going to be technically good, and Twente didn't disappoint in that sense. They were technically good. But we didn't use the intensity of the Premier League to just fucking blow them out of the water. You know, we allowed the game to stay slow, to stay methodical, to stay technical, when we've got the ability and the players with the ability to be able to just blow them out of the water, and we just didn't do that. There were some positive points in the first half, but the second half, Twente were on top, actually, and I think they probably showed a little bit more work ethic. It felt like complacency and underestimation rather than anything else, and that's almost unforgivable, actually. Number 2, Ugarte. So obviously we got to see Ugarte properly, I thought, last night. And he showed some real good defensive qualities. Like, he charged about the place. He's going to cover all sorts of ground. Every blade of grass, I think he's going to do. He didn't look great on the ball. And I touched on this in the player ratings one earlier. You know, he only needs to improve his pass percentage just by a little bit to work it. He's not in there to be Pirlo. He's not even in there to be Michael Carrick. And I wonder if when it's De Ligt and Martinez and maybe someone a little bit more settled, or the midfield itself just gets a little bit settled, does it help him? He shouldn't be the first pass out of defence. You know, I don't know if this system that we've got really suits him to be the first pass coming out of defence. I think in the games that United are going to dominate possession, there might have to be a rethink. There'll be times when Ugarte is the first name on a team sheet because of what he offers. I'm not necessarily sure that it's going to be against teams where United are expecting to have 60-70% of possession. Listen, I know that you know that I know that you know, and we all know what Manscaped is all about. It's about trimming your hedges, about keeping your gear in check. But listen, they've gone one better. There's no more mixing up your face trimmer and your ball trimmer. They have got the beard and balls bundle. They've got the lawnmower 5.0 for the downstairs business, and they've got the beard hedger for the moneymaker up top. That's right, separate tools for separate jobs. So sort your life out. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code Howson, that's Howson, at manscaped.com. Listen, nobody wants to see your bits looking like a bad Team America beard. Fix it up, look sharp, stop butchering yourself while you're at it. It's 20% off and free shipping with the code Howson at manscaped.com. Get it done, and someone might want to touch your cock. Number 3, Rashford, bright spark. Definitely our brightest, definitely our most dangerous. All the threat came down that left-hand side in the first half. There was a couple of flashes for Ahmad, but like the link-up play with him and Delo was nice. The tricks were nice. Him putting it on people was nice. And I don't think his overall performance this season has been anything like what it's being made up to be. I think a lot of people are really jumping on bandwagons of stuff that just isn't there, I'll be honest with you. He needs to keep playing with confidence and start ramping up the output. The goals will come. I'm certain the goals will come. That was a real tick in the box kind of positive performance. He did well defensively, he did well offensively. It was nice. Yeah, I liked it. Number 4, lack of wins. So it's 1 win in 9 in European competition. 3 wins in our last 9 games, all competitions. Doesn't make for good reading. We're not getting results, and we're not winning enough in a results-based business. Yes, as we said like a week ago or so, much changed at United. Metrically, We are vastly improved across the board. But the one thing that we identified ages ago, where's the goals coming from? There just seems to be a lack of goals. The positive metrics might go down well with, the football board that we've got. But the pressure will start mounting if you don't win games. Are we lacking ruthlessness, or are we lacking winning mentality? Are we lacking the ability or even the permission to score ugly goals? Do we need to score systematic goals? I think it's a concern. I'm not saying it's drastic, and for all, I'm sure the timeline is going to be full of people saying get rid of Ten Hag at the moment. But what's that going to solve? Any other manager can't just magically start having our forward four score goals. And for anyone that's like, get Ruud van Nistelrooy in, he'll get them scoring goals. He's already in there. He's like right on the training ground. He's probably the one taking the most training from what I've seen. So I don't know if it's just, look, it requires patience, and patience is the hardest thing to give in football terms, but maybe it requires a little bit of patience. Not good reading though. 1 win in 9 European games. It's not enough by a lot. 2 in 9 wouldn't have been enough, really, would it? Let's be honest. But 1 in 9 is not enough. United have to start putting some wins on the board. And I think they are capable of doing that, because I'm seeing real positive control in games. We are actually getting better. And it looks like we're even starting to play with a little bit more confidence in the final third. But the goals have got to come. And even if everybody's fit, I don't know where they come from. And that, for me, is a big worry. And then finally, there's no obvious solution. Like I said, even if everybody's fit, do we just magically start scoring? We're massively underperforming our expected goals. And expected goals, for all the shit people give it, it is the best metric out there that comes to whether or not you should be winning games or if you've progressed. United are doing really well in terms of our XG at the moment. We're not putting the ball in the back of the net. And when we say things have changed, this is the contrast to last season. Last season, we was getting results when our XG was like, you shouldn't really be getting those results. And eventually, you don't get the results. On a long enough timeline, you get the results that you deserve, right? That's the truth. Now, there's always outlying games where you win one you shouldn't have done and you lose one you shouldn't have done. But on a long enough timeline, if you looked at the XG of the league, for and against, it'll pretty much sort out the table. It's the best metric that there is in terms of how good a team is and how good a team is playing. And United's XG at the moment is really good, which means that our strikers and our forwards are underperforming. They're not putting away the chances that they are creating for themselves. And actually, we're not allowing as many chances at the other end as well. Therefore, literally better across the board, and possession's better as well. So all of those things are real positive transitions into a better level. But you have to start scoring the goals, because ultimately it's not going to save you. If we come away without finishing in the top 4 and without a trophy again this season, Ten Hag will pay with his job. And for all of the XG metrics that you want to throw at it, it ain't good enough, because results is what matter at the end of the day. It's as simple as that. Injuries should not be an excuse this season. Things are moving in the right direction. I think the performances have been pretty consistently 6.5 to 7 out of 10 this season. But the finishing's woeful outside of Barnsley. Woeful. We've got to start putting the ball in the back of the net. The second we do, the second some players start going on runs where they'll just turn up and score a goal, Manchester United will start bringing home 3 points very consistently. But it's absolutely a concern at the moment. I don't know how you fix it. Let me know in the comments if you any ideas. See you in a bit. Hey, thank you for watching the video. If you are new around these parts, then don't forget to subscribe. My channel is proudly supported by my community on Patreon. If you'd like to get a little bit of extra content, a Discord group, meetups, 5-a-side games, weekly podcasts, behind the scenes, and even an occasional bit of transfer news as and when I get it, then for the price of a pint, you can show your appreciation for the content that we make and get some goodies for doing so as well. Check the link in the description or click the button right here. You'll also find all of my socials here too if you want to follow me on any of those platforms. Nice one.